So here, this is the no-knead bread that you ate. And no knead. I'm not working. Okay. So, the loaf pans and the Dutch oven are not just the only things you can bake bread in. How about this? You can use the flower pots. I just could not find my shorter ones. I like to give them away like for Christmas or birthday or so. I would bake a bread in here. But you prepare it first. You rub it, you clean it, then you rub it with olive oil, and then you bake it in the oven on 425 for maybe an hour or at least 50 minutes. And you repeat this another time. And then it's ready to, you can just put your bread in here and bake it. And it's fun. So, in the Dutch oven, we have all kinds of sizes. Smaller, bigger, oval, and the cuties. My children all love to bake bread. And this is enamel, thank you. Yes. And so it's just this heavy, this little thing. And but you know, children just love it. And so when winter came, my children, we would just bake. It smelled good, it kept the house warm, and it tasted good. I like to use organic stuff. Yes, I pointed it out. And so what I have here on different flours, I have the Montana whole wheat white flour. So, and it's organic that I use, and then I have the rye flour, dark or light. I have here, if you want to get a good organic white flour, unbleached, Costco is wonderful. They have two 10-pound bags together. It's a good price, and it's organic. And so that I have here, and this here is, if you don't want the regular bleached sugar, you can use monk fruit. I have used coconut sugar, I like that. I also like date sugar, and I have another sugar. What was the name of this one?
Inga,
Yes.
I do white grape juice, and I
Yes,
use it
yes.
for, would that
Juices,
work
right.
for the liquid? And then
Yeah. You can do this as well. And then another thing what I have, like when you make a German bread, I don't have the time to show it to you today, but there is no sugar in except dry malt diastatic powder. And you can get this online. Barley from barley. I don't know, you probably cannot take them, can you? In gluten-free?
Yeah, I think I might be able to, but if a person was celiac,
Yeah.
they would not
They
be able
will not,
to.
okay. But, I mean, these are just some ideas,
So
okay?
does that add a sweetness to it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit. And that's all I did in the German bread, very simple, it's just different flours. This 2 teaspoons, only a 1/4 teaspoon of yeast, and then you can use some non-alcoholic beer. And if you don't want to use that, don't use root beer. But the non-alcoholic, or you can use a tonic, water, or something. But we get into this another time. So, Dutch oven. I have this probably about 10 years, It's not just for soups, but also to bake bread, and it's fun. My daughter got me these. So, when you have your bread, no, you put this in the Dutch oven. It heats it up real
Good
hot.
idea.
Thank you. And then afterwards, you can just take it out like this.
Wow.
So let me ask you, are you putting your parchment paper
I
in?
put both in.
So
on
this
top
goes
of
in,
this.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
This first, then your parchment paper with the bread on. I will do it in just a second. And, but then we put this in the hot oven. So, to heat up your Dutch oven, I put it on 400 in the oven, and it's been in there now 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and I didn't watch the time. Okay, so
More than.
what I have here, I put this together in the morning, the no-knead bread, and I used the flours, and these are wood-fire grilled olives. I put that in the bread, and this here is a vegan cheese, and I get all these things at grocery outlet. And this is a plant-based spicy original. It's not too hot. I did give you, for variations, you can use some jalapeno if you like. But most people, maybe it's a little bit too hot, but it really tastes good in the bread. And so, so I just used a little bit of a warm cheese, non-dairy, and these olives. And so maybe we get this still baked today. Okay, that would be it. So, this here.
Inga, can you turn the card around a little so we can see what the Dutch oven and stuff is? Oh, thank you.
This part, okay,
Oh, thank you.
good.
Oh, thanks.
So I will put this first in the oven, and I just need a couple things on this, that's okay.
So are you saying you preheated your Dutch oven? You put it in the oven?
Yes,
I will.
for a
So
half
this-
an hour. So
yeah.
while you're getting your dough and stuff ready, you have that in the oven. You start it first.
At 400 degrees?
On 400, and then you have it in the oven for half an hour. Then you take off the lid. You can place it either right next to it. Be careful that you don't burn yourself, okay? And then you have it in probably another 10 to 15. You just watch it. If it's nice and brown, then you can turn the oven off. Take the hot thing out. The lid is already off, and then you can just take the bread off on those little, what do you call those goodies that is in that, yeah.
I don't know, but it's a bread puller outer helper.
I love it.
But Inga, excuse me, why do you preheat
The Dutch oven has to be hot.
has to be hot
Yeah.
before you can put
Yes.
the bread in?
Part of what that's gonna do is give you the crust, the nice crust that you have on the bread. So when it's
Right.
hot, it's instantly cooking the outside, not the inside. So it gives you that nice kind of artesian crust that you get on a lot of breads.
Okay.
So this is hot. I will bring this over.
If you want to set it on the.
Oh, okay. Well, then I have to reach over. I'm
Yeah, never mind.
thinking
You
on
do
my
it.
arms.
Yeah.
Okay, so where did I put, oh, right here. This and. So, you have your parchment paper. I find the best parchment paper at Costco. Come on, do the trick. Yes. Okay. And now, just it right here. So you just take it and put it in the oven. Put the lid on. And Cindy, what you do, put it, it's on 400 and set the timer for 30 minutes. And then we'll take, after 30 minutes, we'll take off the lid and let it bake another 10, 15 minutes. Just be careful because this is very hot.
And heavy.
And heavy, and heavy. So you can either, sometimes I have 2 Dutch ovens in the oven, so then I take the lids and put them on top of the oven, or, you know, if you have something ready like this, then this will work too. Just no little children close by or anybody, not too bad. Okay. So I started preparing here the basic. May I put this over here? The basic. What am I doing?
Dough.
The basic.
Oh, Dutch oven bread.
Dutch oven bread. Okay, so I put in already 3 cups of the Montana whole wheat white flour in here, and the wheat flour, and then I have here another cup of the rye flour. That's the basic. Then you can put in flax seeds. I have here about, oh yeah. So I put in the flax seeds, salt,
And they're not,
they're ground. These
yeah,
are the golden.
yeah. Just so, she was saying flaxseed, but I want you to know it's flaxseed meal.
Yeah, flax seeds meal, that's right.
Did you say the Montana white flour is whole wheat?
Yeah, that's what it says on it.
So not
Yeah,
enriched?
it's whole
Whole
white
grain?
wheat. It's hard winter white. And they do have that at Sherm's in the wheat berries for 75 cents a pound, which is a great price if you have a grinder or a mill.
So, I'm putting in a teaspoon of salt and only a quarter teaspoon to a half a teaspoon of yeast. That's all. And what do I have here? Oh, the flaxseed. Oh, and then I take a tablespoon of any sweetener, whatever you want to do. There's also the sweet molasses. You can use that too. You can use date syrup. You can use maple syrup. I think we wrote it on the
Yes.
recipe, no?
Can you use honey? Honey, okay?
Pardon?
Honey?
Okay, with honey, it's okay to use honey, but if you have all the protein flours in here, then the temperature is at a baking point. It destroys not only the protein, it also destroys the vitamin B and also the enzymes. And so that's when you bring it to boiling or cooking.
That's the honey, yeah.
So
But you're not using much anyhow.
that was the natural sugar.
Okay, sure.
And I'm just thinking, which one is that? It was not
Monk fruit?
monk fruit.
Kind of looks like coconut from here, but I can't.
Sucanut?
No,
No?
it's one. It comes from a birch tree, actually.
Oh,
And And right now, I'm having more than a senior moment.
Hey, I totally understand.
And I say, how soon do you need to know?
She'll come up with it before the evening's over, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, I should have put it in the recipe. So, will you be so kind and give him 2 cups of warm water? The temperature, the warm water is about 113, and that's ours. So sometimes my daughter and I will do this in the evening. We'll do the basics, and then maybe one that's sweet with pecans and or other nuts if you like, and maybe cranberries or raisins or whatever. If you want a special one, you can put some chocolate chips or carob chips or white or whatever chips in there if you like. And that's just one idea. Or you make them savory, or like with the jalapeno one. So she will bring the water. Usually when you have about 4 cups of flour, you use about 2 cups of liquid. And so, oh yeah, good. You can just put it in here. Number 4. You just fold it over gently till all the liquid is absorbed. And you don't have to knead it. Now at home I use a wooden spoon with a hole in. That works the best probably. Can't get this all out here. It's okay.
Is that a lesson in what not to use?
Yeah, it's a little easier if you're using something that you don't have to dig it out of.
Right, you know, like if you have even the metal, and I did not bring it, but you know, if you have a wooden spoon, cooked spoon with a hole in, or some slats, you call them? No, that was a bad word, wasn't it?
Slat. Slots.
Okay, you're right. You know, just something, and or one of these spatulas. So, then I cover it up. You need a mirror so that you see.
That's true.
Yeah, but
It's very soft, it's not
but
like,
no,
it's not like the dough that I was
Yeah.
working with.
No.
If you were to get your hands in that, it'd be all over you.
and I like gloves. And then if you want to take a little flour, put it on. That's okay too. Now I will tip it over a little bit so you can see it. Do I need to come closer to you?
Oh, that's good.
It's okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So that's how it will be.
Nice and soft.
Then you take your saran wrap or whatever.
Do you need some?
I have it right here. And put it over loosely. I had a paper towel right here. And then you can use a towel, put this over, and leave it on the counter overnight. You can leave it there 12, 15 hours, and that's it. And then you saw how I picked this up just and put it in the hot Dutch oven. Usually what I do, I turn on the oven, put the Dutch oven in, and then I just work my bread a little bit, put a little bit of flour maybe over. You can just take the bowl that you mixed it in, put it over, and let it sit there on the parchment paper already.
Okay.
And then you just pick up the 4 corners, put it in the Dutch oven, and you're fine. Hopefully, and it tasted okay, didn't it?
Tasted good. Yeah.
I went to Amazon and I found that little lifter thing.
Yeah.
I searched for baking mat for Dutch oven. And it came up with reusable silicone baking mat for Dutch oven, $9.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
And if you want a Dutch oven,
Yes.
Costco has set up 2, a smaller one and a larger one. And I'm waiting for, like they did last year, the holiday sale.
Yes.
And that's probably about the best place you
That
can
was
get.
last month.
Pardon?
That was last month. I took a picture of it and I
Yes.
sent it to Inga. I'm like, look, they're on sale.
Yes.
Amazon.
On sale yet.
Walmart does that too.
You know, my daughter and I, we have sometimes 10 bowls.
Oh, wow.
And then the next morning, we'll just, it's not really kneading, you just put the bread a little bit together, or just roll it out. If it's too wet, you want to add a little bit of flour to it, but you saw how mine was, the one that
What did you mean when you said you had several bowls out?
several loaves of bread, yeah, different ones.
How do you do that many in one oven?
Oh, one after another, because you can leave it in there for 12 hours, 15 hours, so then she has.
It's not as critical
as
as
the other
regular
one.
bread, because if regular bread rises too much,
Then
you
you
end up with a mess.
Yeah, you have to
But
punch it
it's
down.
not the same with the Dutch oven. And she's only used a quarter of a teaspoon of yeast.
Right.
So she's not having the same amount of rising that you do with regular bread.
It's delicious, thank you.
And you're welcome. And you can even use, I think I mentioned this already, like mineral water or anything, if you wanted it more of a softer, spongier texture.
So, with what she does, I don't know if any of you, during the holidays, they have this cranberry walnut bread at Costco for $9 a loaf. You can do the exact same thing that she's doing, and part of that recipe, you can use the basic recipe and add some of the variations, and adding the craisins and the walnuts to it, you'll get a similar effect.
Oh, okay,
And you
good.
can add more sweetener to it if you want more of a sweet dough or whichever. At least 1 teaspoon of the salt and at least, 1 tablespoon of the sugar in general.